In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how we can use text favorites to place annotation that represents the area of a shape. So we're going to go to our Place Text tool, and we're going to go to our Insert Favorites, and down at the bottom we have Manage. So normally this would be something you'd put in a DG and lib file, but I'm going to put this in my active file. So I'm going to click Manage. In the upper left corner, I'm going to go ahead and select My File, because that's where it's going to be stored. I'm going to create a category. We're just going to call this Measure. And then we'll create a text favorite. And this is going to be Area. To the right, this is where I can assign my text properties, font, things like that, color. And I'm going to make the color here 0. Down below, this is where we get the field type and this field subtype. So I'm going to click here. Wants to know what is that I want to insert here. I'm going to go ahead and look at element properties, and then the subtype is what element do I want to look at, what type of element. In this case, I'm just going to be choosing shape, and then it brings up the properties for that. And under shape, I'm going to go to geometry, and in this case, I'm interested in area, so I'm going to select that. Now to the right here, this is where I can format this. So I'm going to just leave it set except for my accuracy. I'm going to be changing that to 0. Again, you get a preview down here. I'm going to go ahead and hit accept. You can see it's placed up there. Now I'm going to choose save. It's saved off to my favorites. I'm going to close the text favorites manager. And I'm now going to be placing this as text. I'm going to have on my tool settings window my association set because I need to be able to tell it to associate or get the properties of a specific element. So I'm going to go to my favorites. You're going to see area listed there. Now I'm going to tentative on the circle, and then I'm going to data, and now I'm placing text that represents the square foot of that circle. The same thing I'm going to do for the shape, tentative, data. There's the value for that. And this is a complex chain. Now where I do a tentative will kind of matter. So I'm going to tentative. Where I tentative initially won't matter, but after I go to modify, it will then associate itself with that point. So I'm going to tentative here, data, placing the text out to the right. Now if I go to modify, so if I'm going to go to my modify element tool, and if I modify the shape, you are going to see that it shifts because it was associated to it, and you can see that it changed the value. And the same is true if I come up here for this one. It does shift. I can move that if I wanted to. And here, as I move that, you can see it adjusts and it moves a little bit. Now we're going to see how we can use this for place note. So I'm going to go to place note. It's going to be the same process. I'm going to choose my favorite, going to choose area. Again, I want to make sure that I have this enabled to create association to elements, and also I'm enabling the create relative association so it goes with it. So I'm going to place in a note here. You can see the note comes out. I'm going to do the same thing for this shape. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Now if I modify these, for some reason it doesn't like to update this one. I'm not sure why, but if I go to my modify element tool, and again I modify here, you can see it moves it, but it also does update the calculation. And the same thing here. You can see it didn't update that. And the same is going to be true down here. If I do modify this one, so let's say I go ahead and modify that. Oh, in this case, because I modified the vertice it was associated with. But if I modify another vertice over here like this, you can see it doesn't update because it was associated to that vertice. Now there is a key in, and if I go to my key in browser down here, there's a key in called Field Update All, and then the file. If I double click on that, you're then going to see these sync up. Now there's a variable that's supposed to let us set this and have it automatically update. I'm not sure why it's not doing that, but this could be a possible way for having a favorite in a DG and lib so that they can place it in. It doesn't dynamically place it while they're drawing the shape or anything like that. It doesn't do all the functions of the area tool MDL, but it does get a little bit of it in there, and it does make it smart and intelligent. So hopefully this will be helpful.